Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
I don't know what it is that makes me love you so. I only know I never wanna let you go. 'Cause you started something, don't you see? That ever since we met you had a hold on me. It happens to be true. I only wanna be with you.
Hello, I'm Phil Catchpole and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues, the official Wycombe Wanderers podcast. On the show this week, we have all the action and reaction from that win at Sixfields against Northampton Town, and Michael Shevlane joins us for Till Death Us Do Part. But first, let's head to Mexico City for some Chairboys Spanish and the full League One results with Uri.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri, and here are the results for League One. Mansfield Town 2, Cambridge United 1, Northampton Town 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2, Blackpool 2, Exeter City 1, Bolton Wanderers 0, Huddersfield Town 4, Bristol Rovers 0, Wigan Athletic 4, Crawley Town 1, Stockport County 1, Peterborough United 1, Lincoln City 1, Reading 0, Leyton Orient 1, Rotherham United 2, Burton Albion 2, Shrewsbury Town 0, Charlton Athletic 1, Stevenage 3, Barnsley 0. So Wycombe have scored exactly 2 goals in every league game so far. So Chairboys Spanish this week, scoring 2 goals per game. Okay, let's go part by part. You may already know how to say 2 in Spanish. Let's count 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3. So 2 is dos, like a duo, like duality. You need 2 to make a duo. Dos, duo, 2. How do we say to score? Marcar. It's very similar to say to mark a goal on the scoreboard. Marcar. How do we say goal? Gol. Per game. How do we say game? Juego. So, Chairboys Spanish this week, scoring 2 goals per game, marcando 2 goles por juego. That's it for this week, and back to England with my amigo Filiberto Cachapollos. Adios.
Many thanks, Uri. Right then, on to Sixfields. Wycombe Wanderers have won 7 consecutive games in all competitions against Northampton before this game. Could they make it 8? Let's find out. Commentary was with Toby Large. Into Morley, it's a poor pass, and now Northampton have got a really good opportunity. It's into the box for Hoskins. Grimmer gets back, and it's adjudged to be a penalty. Oh dear, Wycombe Wanderers shooting themselves in the foot there. Jack Grimmer complaining that he got the ball, and what's the referee do? It's a yellow card for Jack Grimmer. It's an attempt to play the ball and not a professional foul, and it's come from a mistake from Declan Skura.
Yeah, definitely right not to give the red card, because Grimmer obviously went for the ball, but all our own fault there, and it's been such a positive start as well before this, and a chance for Northampton to put us on the back foot from the start.
Referee Adam Herzog in no hesitation to point to the spot. Here comes Hoskins now and scores. Ravazoli goes to his left. Hoskins puts it in the bottom corner on the other side, and Wycombe trail here early on at Sixfields. Northampton 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0.
Yeah, work to do early doors. I think a minute and a half ago we wouldn't have been thinking we were saying that after a couple of promising moves on the front foot, but just goes to show in this league there's plenty of capable attackers, and Sam Hoskins is epitomises that. A really well taken penalty into the bottom left corner, and plenty of work to do.
Goes out wide, looking for Grimmer. Grimmer controls. Back to McCleary. McCleary in field uses Morley. Morley back to Grimmer again, and now McCleary. That's a really good ball. McCleary's in here, cuts into Uno, scores! in almost a carbon copy of the goal he scored here in the League Cup. It's a wonderful piece of football from Wycombe Wanderers. It's a smart finish from Dan Udoh, and it's Cobblers 1, Chairboys 1.
Brilliant, incisive football from Wycombe Wanderers. The ball through to Gareth McCleary is excellent. Cuts it back for Daniel Udoh. He makes no mistake with the finish. You can't give a striker with his experience, his career goal tally. He's going to bury those every day of the week as well. And I think there's an extra celebration from Phil because we've both got him in our fantasy team too.
Indeed we have. And Toby, it was your recommendation, so I'll buy him a cup of tea at half time. How about that?
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Is Harvey going to get there?
He is. Harvey on the left hand side now, looks up, cross comes in, and Guthrie, and it's there. Richard Kone. It's a horrible mistake between Guthrie and Burge, the keeper. And there is an ideal present for Richard Kone, who, like every good striker, makes sure he's on the scene. Couldn't believe his luck as the ball squirmed out between the two Northampton Town players, and Kone rolls the ball home to give Wycombe Wanderers a 2-1 lead. Scruffy, but they all count. Cobblers 1, Wycombe 2.
An absolute gift, as you say, for Richard Kone. The cross came in from Dan Harvey, who did so well to keep the ball in. The through ball over on the left-hand side, crosses it in. It wasn't the best ball in the world, but he put it in an area, that corridor of uncertainty where anything can happen. And the defender and goalkeeper combined, Burge making the mistake again. There was definitely uncertainty in that from Lee Burge, and Richard Kone, you don't have to tell him twice, he's going to sniff out a chance, and he couldn't miss. 2-1 Wycombe.
The corridor of calamity from a Northampton point of view there. Burge and Guthrie, well, there you go. Gaffer, a 2-1 win on the road for the early kick-off. A great start to the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought we were excellent first half. We started slow at Blackpool 2 weeks ago with the early kick-off, so we made sure that we mentioned that before the game. You know, we've worked really, really hard for 2 weeks. Probably a lot of clubs have had some time off, but we felt that, you know, with the signings coming in quite late in the window and the new faces in the building, the way we want to play, there needed some work to be done. And especially first half, I thought a lot of that came out. So I really enjoyed watching us today, absolutely.
And an early setback in this game too.
Yeah, there was, but I like the courage and the character that we showed to keep playing the way we wanted to play. So it didn't look like it affected the boys. They kept playing that way. And Jack Grimmer just mentioned it in the change room about how, you know, to keep your minds and keep your heads and keep playing. And I guess luckily for us, it paid off quite soon after going behind. To show that character and keep playing the way we want to play. And the goal that we scored, the first goal was excellent. Thoroughly enjoyable, some great movement there, so yeah, some good stuff from us.
Yeah, a fantastic response really, as you say. Everyone kept calm, and the fans are purring after watching it online as well, the goals.
Yeah, look, I want the guys to enjoy watching us. I want us to play the way I believe. Like, it's not trying to be too clever. We're just trying to establish a team and a way of playing that everyone has clarity over. The goal was fantastic. It was lovely, lovely goal to watch, and playing Dan Udoh from the left, we always knew that he was going to have that threat in the box coming in from G-Max crosses. So yeah, I thought there's some real nice stuff, and listen, there's loads of work to do. I thought it broke down too often for us, the way, especially sort of second half, and in times in first half it broke down too many times. But yeah, it's not going to be perfect overnight. We've got plenty to work on, but we're enjoying doing it.
A touch of luck for the Wycombe second goal, but I guess from a Richard Kone point of view, you've got to be in the box to score those goals.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk to Rich about getting himself across the front post, and he gets himself in there. And there was a little bit of luck involved in that, but if you look at our XG and the amount of chances we created, I don't think it was any more than what we deserved off the back of the performance. And
credit to John Brady as well, that the triple sub really changed the shape of that second half, didn't it? And Wycombe had to defend deep in that closing stages.
Yeah, John's been in the game a long time, and he knows. He changes shape quite often during games. Last year that was a pattern of their play, and again today he's changed shape twice, I think. So yeah, the three subs. The boy Fosu's a very, very good player. We knew that. Dribbling 1v1 opportunities, he can create something from nothing. So yeah, we had to defend well at times, and it got a little bit messy towards the end, which we probably should have been 3-1 up and out of sight at that point. But the boys defended really, really well, and it was nice for a couple of new boys to be on the pitch and enjoy that winning moment.
I was going to say a few debuts in there and a first start as well in the Football League too, so some good opportunities out there.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful, but we believe in some of the young players we've got. We've obviously recruited young, and we've got real good quality in the building to complement our senior players, who we've got some excellent seniors as well. So it's not out with the old in with the U. It's about trying to get the blend right. Deco showed some real good courage on the ball today. That's what we ask of him. And then a debut for us for Caleb. I spoke to him yesterday about, he's been in the building for 2 weeks and he was itching to play a game. I didn't think it was quite right to throw him in today because Deco has done great against Wimbledon, against Swansea, against Blackpool. He deserved his opportunity. So Caleb had to be slightly patient. And it was probably harsh on Alex Hartridge as well to come out, but we've got good competition back there and all over the pitch, so it makes for some tough decisions, but with that comes competition and hopefully an elevated performance level as well.
I've been reading lots of Wycombe fans, they're sort of picking their strongest 11. The fans can't agree on it as well. They're not used to such strength in depth here at Wycombe over the recent history. It's a new sensation for them, and I guess for you as well. It's the challenge to keep everyone happy now.
Yeah, it is, but we've got 7 games in the next 3 weeks, so everyone's going to play. I think we've spoken again about this week about the respect of your teammates when a team is picked, and showing that disappointment in the right way. I was a player, I was terribly disappointed if Gaz didn't pick me, but I tried to show it in the right way and I tried to harbour it in the right way. Maybe sometimes not quite as successful as other times, and emotion is part of the game. I asked for the boys to play with emotion and carry that, but as long as they do it respectfully for their teammates, then that's fine. It's going to be a challenge keeping everyone happy, but thank you to the board for backing me with the recruitment over the summer. We've obviously got bodies to come back from injury. It was nice to have Bez back today, and Wills is back on the grass, and Luke Lee, he's not too far away as well, so it's going to add to the selection headaches, but once you're in charge and you're in possession of a shirt, it's up to you to keep it, and that's where we want it to be.
And Tuesday night offers that opportunity for rotation in the second group stage of the EFL Trophy.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to offer that because we've got games, boys who need minutes and want to play minutes, but that's not degrading of the trophy. I've just said to the boys in there, you better get your minds around the fact I want to win Tuesday, because in April it gave us an incredible day, an incredible memory at Wembley, and the fact that we came up second gives us something to strive for. I want to repeat that, but we've got 2 real tough games in this group to go, but we want to pick a team on Tuesday night, and we will pick a team that we believe can go and win the game.
Joe, a big 3 points today, a good start to the weekend.
Yeah, brilliant start, and now we're just focusing on the next one, just keep rolling them out.
These early kickoffs, how do you as a group of players approach these? Do they affect how you prepare for games?
Well, only speaking for myself here, I love them. I think they're brilliant. You just get up, not much thinking, just roll out there, and before you know it, it's all done.
Close game out there today at times as well, and the early setback going behind so early on, but boys show good character to bounce back.
Yeah, it happens. It'll happen again throughout the season. It's just, like you said, how do you bounce back? And we did. We reacted really well, and managed to get ahead.
Played some good stuff out there as well, especially that first goal. Some really nice football on that right-hand side.
Yeah, we said it when we went in straight away. It's a lovely goal. If we could do that again, that'd be amazing. But it'd be a tough one to do because it was such a good goal. But it just shows that everything that we're working on in the week is coming out, and it's really pleasing. What's
it been like the last 2 weeks? Obviously, with the international break, you were away as well, coming back into the team as well. How was the time away? And you seamlessly came straight back in.
Yeah, a bit of travelling, but no, love it. Going and representing your country and then coming straight back in, being thrown in. It's what I love doing, so no complaints from me.
And you had a first league start alongside you this afternoon as well, and also Caleb Taylor making his Wycombe Wanderers debut in the second half too.
Yeah, I thought Deck was really good, and then Caleb came on and just filled the space straight away. Haven't played with him before, but it just seemed natural and it worked really well.
First league starts are big milestones in players' careers. Do you remember yours?
Yes, I do actually very well. Yeah, it was good. I'm really pleased with Deck, and I hope he gets many more opportunities.
And I've been told we have an exceptional record against teams that your dad played for, that when you play against them we tend to win, is that right?
Yeah, it does seem that way. I don't know whether everyone else knows that and gives it an extra couple of percent, but I definitely do. But yeah, it's a good record to keep hold of, I think, because you played for a few clubs.
Absolutely. Busy schedule coming up now. Wycombe back in cup action on Tuesday, then league next Saturday, then the Villa game too. So it's going to be a squad game, this one, isn't it, the next few weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. We speak about it all the time, the amount of games we got, and we want to compete in every cup competition that we've got. So we're going to have to use everyone. Everyone's really healthy. Competitions going on in the squads, and everyone's raring to go.
Great to hear from the gaffer and Joe Lowe after the match. But what did the Cobblers fans make of it all? Here's the opposition view. Whoppets.
first 5 minutes and the last 10 minutes of the first half and the final 20 minutes following the substitutions were the only times the Cobblers looked dangerous. Wycombe pretty much controlled the rest of the game. We need to be more clinical when given opportunities to score. Fosu looked great again, and there will be better days ahead when the players gel together. Wycombe looked a big, quick outfit.
Roger Green.
That was a disjointed performance by the Cobblers, and both of the Wycombe goals resulted from errors by Brough and Burge. I'm afraid the lack of possession and poor passing cost the Cobblers dear.
Madness not.
First half we were headless chickens, hoofing and hoping. Roberts was the only footballer out there. He kept looking to pass, but apart from Morton, the rest of the statues didn't have a clue how to make a run or create an angle. Second half, we were terrible until some actual footballers came on and made runs and angles.
Penrith Cobbler.
I don't and never will understand why we wait until half-time to make changes. Brough should have been off within 15 minutes. It was that bad today. We were a completely different team after Fosu, McCarron and Cochin came on.
Simon.
I'm so frustrated. I'm fed up of seeing the same old names in the starting 11 every week. We finished the game with a far stronger 11 than the ones that started the game. So how about we start with the stronger team for a change?
MK Cobbler.
Well, that was terrible. We went ahead and then the team just sat back inviting trouble. No one played well today. No one wanted to control the game. We just hoofed the ball and there's never anyone there to win the second ball. We just didn't show up.
Pablo.
Well, I thought we were good enough for a point. But unfortunately, Burge's error handed it to Wycombe on a plate.
Fred NTFC.
1-4 would have been a much better reflection of that game. Wycombe were impressive, though including their usual mastery of the dark arts. Just 1 point against Burton and Wycombe at home is a bit worrying. The last 20 minutes of extra aside, we've looked like relegation candidates.
Madrid Cobbler.
Wycombe looked a seriously good team at this level and showed what we might be up against when playing against better teams in this division. Very physical, and they have excellent movement, good passing technique and power and pace. We looked a step slower for most of the game. We need to be more composed when we have the ball and more alert when we don't. The good news is that all the subs improved us significantly, so we at least know we have players who can impact the game.
Supporting a football club is like a marriage. Your club is there for life through the good times and the bad. We asked Chairboys fans for their most cherished old memory, their current favourite player, the best borrowed player we've ever had, and for something blue, we talk club merchandise. Joining us this week from the other side of the pond is Michael Shevlane, Wycombe Wanderers fanatic, I would suggest. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, Phil. How are you doing?
Very good indeed. Now, a bit of housekeeping. Obviously, I know you were Chev from the gas room. I've met you once at Adams Park as well. Do I call you Michael or Chev? What do you prefer?
You know, either is fine. My siblings and I were all Chev at school. It's quite memorable, so, you know, I'm good with either, basically. So many a gas room has noticed me at a few games I've been to because I have a Shevlane on the back of my shirt if I've gone to a game, and people be like, "Are you Chev?" because they see the name. So I'll answer to either, and yeah, not be offended.
Okay, well, in true football style, we'll call it Chev because everyone needs a nickname, don't they? So, Chev, where did your journey with Wycombe Wanderers start? Because you're not from Bucks.
No, I'm a relative newbie, to be honest. I'm not even. I'll be like 8 years a fan in next February. So I grew up in Hertfordshire. I'm trying to keep this abbreviated, but I grew up in Hertfordshire, and as a kid, I just picked a blue team off the TV. Unfortunately, it was Birmingham City. So, you know, and they weren't local, so I only got to a handful of away games. Didn't really have any memories or connections to them. So by the time I grew up, I just kind of grew out of it. It was, it'd been a case of like checking their scores in a newspaper more than anything at that stage. Probably dating myself a bit there, but moved to America in 2000, and we were just kind of a neutral at that point. Not really interested in Birmingham. Didn't really have the connection, like I said. And it got into the let's see, we're talking early 2017, and I've always had a bit of a fascination for fan-owned teams. So, one day I was at work, my wife worked with me at the time, and I'm like, you know what, we should really just get into one of these fan-owned teams, because you kind of, can get more involved. So I looked it up, and it's like, okay, it's between, Exeter, Wimbledon, or Wycombe Wanderers. And I'm like, well, Exeter's out because they're way down there. So I'm not making that mistake. And then, as soon as I was properly reading up on the clubs, no disrespect to Wimbledon, but well, a little bit, but everything about Wycombe just seemed perfect, and it was kind of a unique situation, because most people don't get to choose their own team. You grow up with a team and then you're hooked. It's an addiction. Whereas I had an opportunity to actually choose my own team, and could have chosen Real Madrid, could have chosen Barcelona or Liverpool or Man United or whatever, but it had to be Wycombe. I mean, reading up on them, just everything I've learned about the club since, everything I've experienced since, was kind of encapsulated in that initial research of like, this just sounds like a wonderful club. So yeah, got into them right away. And because I'm a songwriter, I got so enthusiastic about the idea that I wrote a song within the first few days, and got in touch with I didn't know who to get in touch with. So I initially got in touch with the trust, and they answered and said, well, it's probably not rocky enough to play at the stadium, because it was like a folky version, like a little acoustic-y version of the song originally. But they were very kind about it. And then I went on the gas room and just put the song on there and said, hey, if anyone wants to listen to this or keep it, go for it. And they suggested sending it to the media guys to play it again. So I did, and they did. And which was pretty exciting, although I was still over here in the States, didn't get to hear it. But then I did a remix once I moved to Denver, with drums and brass and strings and all that, to make it sound more anthemic. And it's been played a few times there. So that kind of was the gateway. I mean, I already wanted to support the club, but that song was just a side bit that was a lot of fun. So
amazing. What a story. So let's get into the questions. We have to start with something old. And you said, okay, it's not a huge amount of time you have to choose from, but still a fairly significant period in the club's overall history. Your favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers memory, and it could be anything.
Well, I call myself a Wycombe Glory supporter, because I basically started supporting us and we hit, a golden period. I mean, the first full season I supported us was the League Two promotion season. So haven't really known a lot of downtime. So, don't really have the old war stories, but it does have to be Party in the Park, because that was my first Wycombe game. I've only been to a few, but I came over for Party in the Park, because that was the end of the first full season I'd followed. And it was a mad season, because, it happened. I was lucky because it was the first season I follow was up, and your commentary wasn't on yet, so it was just like, just the sounds of the game. But, I was able to watch almost every game, and it was mad because I moved from Vegas to Denver with my wife, and all kinds of things were happening. So I was like watching it on the road in a hotel somewhere as we were moving, and probably watching it in like 7 or 8 different locations in a short space of time. So, and it obviously was such a dramatic season. So by the end of it, we were like, we're going to come over for that last game. And I thought it was going to be, the game that decided whether we got promoted, because it seemed unlikely that we'd clinch it at Chesterfield, but all the events transpired to where it was the Party in the Park. And then, the media team, Matt and the guys there were kind enough to play the new version of the song. So I'm there, my first ever Wycombe game, hear my own song come on at Adams Park. It was kind of out of body experience. And my wife was, like 6 months pregnant with our first kid as well. So it was really special. My dad was there, my best friend was there, and it was just a brilliant day. Yeah,
amazing day. And as you say, we got promoted the week before, so the pressure was off. And Matt Bloomfield in the mask, in the beautiful sunshine as well at Adams Park, a wonderful memory. And then we got to lift the trophy after the game.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, Matt celebrated right down. We were at the front of the Frank Adams, kind of towards the home end, so he was like right below us celebrating, got a perfect angle on the clever little finish from him. And it was just such a joyful day. I often say it's one of the happiest days of my life. And something like a wedding, it's right. Wedding's always very happy, but there's a lot of stress that goes with it as well. Whereas this was a different kind of day, where just everything about the day was joyful. I remember seeing Gareth Ainsworth come out to collect his medal or whatever it was, and just like, you know, kind of clapping the four corners of the ground. I remember thinking it's never going to be like this again. Like, I don't know what the journey's going to be. This is just my first full season, but, you know, this is kind of a moment in time, like bathed in sunshine, just, yeah, absolutely beautiful. So.
Yeah, it was just one of those days where everything just lined up perfectly. A great day and a great way to start off the feature. Right, on to something new. Your favourite player in the current squad?
Yeah, this is a really tough one because to me, there's two aspects of it. There's personality and there's on the pitch. And personality is almost impossible because we always have so many characters, you know, because like, you hate to go against someone like a Jack Grimmer or a Jason McCarthy or the guys that have been around here a while, you know, David Wheeler. But then you got these new guys like Luke Leahy that are just hilarious. So I kind of had to just go with on the pitch who I like watching. And this might not be many people's answer, but I really love watching Kieran Sadlier. I just feel like he's going to beat his man every time he gets the ball. I love his style. I think he's going to take off this year. You know, he didn't kind of nail down that starter role till partway into the season. And I kind of do the man of the match stuff on the gas room. And if his kind of stats had started earlier for his kind of man of the match votes, he'd have been right up there kind of for player of the season based on, you know, how many votes he was getting. So I love watching the guy. My dad's side of the family are all Irish as well, so maybe I'm a bit of an Irish bias there. But yeah, really enjoy watching him. But you know, same goes for so many, obviously. So.
I think there's something a little bit magical about a player that can drop a shoulder, do a trick and beat a man. And especially at the very top end of football, we don't see that very often. But, you know, when we do, we've got a few players who can do it at Wycombe. There's something great, isn't there, about seeing a mazy dribble, a few tricks, and then hopefully either a great cross or a shot at the end of it.
Yeah, just brilliant. And, you know, really with Sadly, it's by a nose from GMAC because GMAC's still doing incredible things at his age. Was it Cheltenham away, one of the away games last year where we broke from our area from, I think, their corner, Vokes hooks it round the corner and GMAC just outruns all the younger players and slots it in, and just a brilliant moment. And yeah, he's kind of evergreen. So.
Absolutely. And sadly, his goal, I think the goal against Peterborough, one of my favourites, where, okay, their keeper may have had a slight assist in it, but it was still a great finish from outside the box. And like you say, I think with a full pre-season and settled into the Wycombe squad, this could be great for him.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really happy about where we're at with, I think we have the right balance of stability, but with some real exciting talent coming in the door. I think last season was always going to be, like in the summer, everyone was saying, oh, it's going to be transitional. And then it starts really transitional. Everyone's like, wait. But it was always going to be very difficult. And I think, you know, Blooms really has his feet under the table, knows what he wants. And we had such a good run at the end of the season. I'm excited to see how kind of that stability of the guys that really know what they're doing with the new talent. I'm excited to see where we land. So.
Brilliant. Well, a first entry in this feature for Kieran Sadlier and a justified one as well. Let's move on to something borrowed. Now, this could be either your favourite ever loanee that we've had or a player that you wish that we'd signed and haven't done so as yet. I
mean, I think a lot of people are going to give this answer, but Ebbs, you know, as a just brilliant. I think every Wycombe fan's followed his career. I think the thing about him was even when he was on loan for half a season in League Two, making his professional debut, scoring his first professional goals, Wycombe fans were united in saying he's going to play for a top six club and he's going to play for England. And this is when a guy is playing his first minutes in League Two. I remember saying to a friend of mine who's an Arsenal fan, like, this kid, you know, all of us fans are adamant he's going to reach the very top. And everyone knew it was going to happen. But I think the thing about him, again, there's two sides to players. There's the on the pitch and there's the off the pitch. But everything, I've never had the pleasure of meeting him, but everything I've heard about him, everything I've read about him is that he's just an absolutely lovely human being. And when you get that combination, you know, I mean, you know, that talent with that character, it's hard to overlook. Just like Bio, as far as a permanent player, you know, that dynamic on the pitch, that brilliant on the pitch, and then that big of a personality. But yeah, I'd have to go with Ebbs for both on the pitch and for off the pitch. So
it was brilliant to see him on the pitch at the Euros and in the England shirt and in the England squad. And there's been a lot of speculation about his future. Would he leave Palace? Would he go somewhere else? And there's been a lot of press with him, and he's never been shy about his Wycombe roots. He was never our player. It was a half-season loan. But even I think one of his teammates at QPR this week has come out and said, he came back from Wycombe and came back an absolute monster of a player, both mentally, physically, and what he could do on the pitch. And it was the making of him. And it's wonderful to hear football kind of respects lower league loans like this and what they can do for players. It was the gateway for Ebbs.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if when the movie of his career is made someday, it's going to start with those 2 Cambridge goals. That's where you have to start. And I think that was the game as well, obviously because of the quality of those strikes. But yeah, I love the fact that he has that attitude. And I think Wycombe are so good with lone players. And I know, okay, we're talking about the cream de la cream, but Freddie Potts. I went on the West Ham forum at the end of last year, and they'd posted our Twitter feed about, Potts coming into the last game. He didn't play, but he came to the centre circle and, because he'd won both awards and took the applause. And the West Ham fans were like, what a lovely club to do that, And I think, yeah, we're talking about the most successful players, but Wycombe's clearly a club that gives these players what they need to succeed. And not every loanee is going to succeed. That's just reality. But I'm sure we have a wonderful reputation within the game. And, what we did with Freddie Potts last year is not going to do our reputation any harm either. So.
And on the flip side of this as well is that we've got our own young talent that we own and that we're bringing through as well, which is even more exciting, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, so, we're not afraid to go into the non-leagues, pick up someone like a Kone and get him integrated in the team. And, I'm sure from that perspective too, I think I actually saw on YouTube a kind of non-league special where it's talking about clubs that give non-leaguers a chance. And again, it was profiling Wycombe. So, we have an eye for talent and we have an eye for loanee. So what's not to like?
Fantastic. Right then, on to something blue. No pressure, but there has been suggestions that have made it into the shop. So we set the bar high. So your idea for a piece of club merchandise that doesn't exist. And we'll also ask you for your favourite piece of club merchandise that you've got.
I mean, it's a tough one. I'm probably quite boring with this, but I'd love to just see like an old style quartered shirt, maybe like a hoodie that has the quarters or just an old style shirt. One of the things I love about Wycombe is that, and my Arsenal mate again and I were talking about this, is if every club couldn't have a sponsor or a badge and you just saw the colours, Wycombe are one of only a few clubs that you would know it's them. Because even something like Arsenal, you've got Fleetwood and Rotherham, and we were going through all the teams. It's really only a handful. Like Newcastle, you've got Notts County. So really it's like Wycombe, Bristol Rovers, who rip us off anyway, with the quarters, and then Blackburn and maybe Norwich, but it's just a handful. And then let alone if you just took the shirt, you'd still know it's Wycombe. So it's such an iconic look. So I'd love to just have some plain quarters that are like timeless. I think that's probably tough because obviously the sponsors sponsor the shirt for a reason. So I doubt that would necessarily gain too much traction. It's like, how about we sell shirts that don't have the sponsor? So I get that, but I'd love to have any kind of additional quartered merchandise, especially tops like hoodies, sweatshirts, anything like that. I just love the quarters. I think it's just a brilliant look. The cynical part of me is like, there should be some kind of marketing effort where, and this is really silly, but something along these lines where the club makes loads of two-tone blue recorders and gives them to the schools and says, we're replacing all your recorders in Buckinghamshire, and so all the kids are playing on like Wycombe recorders, and it's like if you take one home and take it to a game, you get like a free burger or something. There's got to be some kind of cynical marketing thing getting into schools, but I haven't quite nailed that down. My favorite merchandise I've got, that's a tough one. I'm really all about the shirts. I have a back here actually a shirt that was signed by the players in the 2018-19 season. So that's probably my favorite because obviously it has the signatures. I absolutely love our current shirts though. They're my favorite since I've been following, which obviously is not long, but I absolutely love what Hummel have done with them. So hopefully we get a second season out of them. I'm not sure where we stand with that, but love the home, love the green and white, and the red's fine too. So yeah.
There we are. I love the idea of a quartered hoodie. I remember when I was a kid back in the 90s, I don't often use the word rugby on this podcast, and I apologise for anyone offended by that. But we used to have like a line of quartered rugby shirts, which looked quite fetching, if that was your thing. A quartered hoodie, though, that brings it into the modern day. I like that. I like that, definitely. So, and the recorders idea, well, what's not to like about that, unless you're sat next to 30 kids playing recorders.
Yeah, perfectly cynical, but if you say, hey, these are the kids get to take them home with them at the end of the school year, and if they hand them in during one of the summer games, they get some kind of goodie. Then you're getting the kid to a game, and you're getting their parents to a game, and I don't know, but I think
And you're starting off a musical career. I started playing the recorder, and it was a gateway drug for me for all music.
Yeah, it's always the first one. It's the first thing we all meet in the schools. It's so accessible.
Chev, you're in the States. You're watching everything on Wanderers TV, but you are coming over for a game, right, this season?
Yeah, I'm coming over for the Cambridge game. Technically, I'm there I was hoping that I'd get there for some, maybe like an away, like a Leyton Orient, but they, didn't think of me and they scheduled it for the end of the season. But the Cambridge game falls in right when I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for 3 weekends. I don't think I'll make the Northampton away the weekend before, but I'm definitely going to be looking to get to the home game with Cambridge. So I can't remember what date it is, September 20th, I want to say, or 21st, I think. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Excellent. We've mentioned the gas room and the forum. You're very regular on there as well. You're thousands of miles away, but you're very much part of the community at Wycombe Wanderers now. It must be great to come over and see everybody.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about the club, and some of it's just where we are in history. Growing up, nominally being a Birmingham fan, I didn't really have any interaction with the club apart from a few ways. And where we are in history, you can feel completely connected. I know Rob Couig's moved on, but when he came, he said, "Hey, if anyone emails me, I'll get back to them in 24 hours." And I didn't do it just to test him, but I had something I wanted to ask him, so I eventually did it. And he got back to me in like 3 hours, I think 2-3 hours, and actually answered. It wasn't just he told me some things that were going on, and that's just an example, but it just feels very accessible. I mean, the gas room's a wonderful forum. The guy that runs it, Dr. Congo or Dr. Congo, and the posters there. I mean, it's funny. If you meet one of these posters, they introduce themselves by their handle, and handles seem fine when you're online, but when people are introducing themselves with a handle, sometimes it's a little comical. But yeah, I've met a bunch of them, and also a shout out to. So with the song, the club actually had a song competition about a year after they initially played my song. I didn't win it, which is funny. But the guy that did win it, Andy with One Wycombe, I got to meet him as well briefly at a game. Absolutely lovely chap. And I think he did like a K Sarah Sarah song or something. We were going to Wembley as well, but really lovely chap as well. But yeah, just every time we go over, we seem to meet some people, and also. I write for the Wanderer fanzine. So Johnny King, brilliant editor, brilliant lad. Seen him a couple of times, I think, at games. So I do like kind of satirical articles for them. So if you ever see a kind of article that's just, well, in the upcoming fanzine, if you see articles mocking Birmingham and Reading, then that'll be me. At least one of them will be me. I don't know if other people are going to mock them as well.
Well, it's good to hear you've banished your Birmingham roots. I have to ask you, from your view in America, we're hearing lots of excitement about the EFL because of Wrexham. So is there sort of a raised awareness of the EFL, or is it just all about, these guys from Hollywood's team, or are people getting into the competition as a whole?
I haven't seen a lot about the competition. I think most Americans are still kind of like, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Champions League, the glamorous stuff. But I think Wrexham are raising awareness. They do tend to call them Wrexham. I had some guy accost me in a car park once, I think, going to a MLS game here, and he was like, "Hey, I love Wrexham." But it's hard to explain. That's not how you pronounce ham. It's but yeah. So I have mixed feelings on them. I mean, I don't think it's that romantic a story. It's. To me, everyone likes Deadpool, and he's got lots of money, and that's basically the long and the short of it. But if it does raise awareness, then it will be a net positive for all of us. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an exciting opener anyway, getting them away and seeing the kind of atmosphere there, through the TV, as it were. But yeah, it's they're definitely making it more interesting. I just don't know. I don't know how many people are actually watching it because of them, but we'll see. I guess we'll see in the coming years.
We shall see. Well, Chev, I look forward to seeing you in England for the Cambridge game. And as I promised in the build-up to this, I will definitely buy you a beer, okay?
Sounds brilliant. Perfect, mate.
That's it for this week's show. Many thanks to Chev for his time on Till Death Us Do Part. And if you'd like to take part in this excellent feature, then drop me an email at media@wwfc.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back next week with news of Wycombe's game against Cambridge United at Adams Park. In the meantime, come on you Blues.